What's going on, Mike Hubbard?
Happy New Year, Ken Jenkins.
It's a new year, isn't it?
It is a new one. 2022.
2022. Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Are we having fun?
I'm having fun.
Are you having fun yet?
Trying to.
I'm just so happy that 2021 is over.
See ya. We made it.
We made it.
It was a little rough.
What was my motto? My motto is 2021 over and done. Everything new in 2022.
Okay. All right. You are from Brooklyn.
What's that? What's that got to do with Brooklyn?
You know, that's the home of rap, right? The birthplace of rap?
No.
It's not?
No. The Boogie Down Bronx is the home of hip-hop.
My apologies.
Right. Those fighting words, man.
My apologies.
All right.
Please forgive me.
Okay. Hey, whoever's out there from the Boogie Down, don't be upset. Don't write in. I got him.
I'm from the South.
I got him. He from the land of horses and buggies.
Mumble rap. You know?
Giddy up there, little pony. Brooklyn. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Anyway.
I got to remember that.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro.
It feels good to start a new year with a new show.
Yep.
First off, we always got to talk about stuff on our table. We got a lot of good stuff going on.
A lot going on, man.
We got some pictures. We got some new required reading.
Yeah.
You brought a couple books.
I did.
What are they about?
Business, money.
Business and money.
Entrepreneurship.
Something which we don't have a lot of.
No, we don't. And speaking of that, we, on our last session or our last time together, I mentioned a man who, at the time he died, was one of the wealthiest men in New York.
Tell me about that.
And since on AvoPod, we want to be about facts. We don't want to just throw stuff out.
Right.
You know. So I just wanted to bring him back up and fill in some detail.
Right.
So the man's name was Thomas Downing. And he was known as the New York City Oyster King.
Oyster King.
Oyster King. And he owned oyster restaurants.
Okay.
But what he did, he took it to a whole nother level and made them more upscale.
Oyster restaurants.
Oyster restaurants. And so apparently, back in the day, only men could frequent these places.
Wow,
he was one of the first.
Women weren't allowed to eat oysters?
Apparently, I guess not.
Okay.
You know, I don't know what the deal was with those brothers in the 1800s.
Lean in, y'all.
All right.
Oysters.
But Thomas, he, in his place, as long as you were with your husband, women could come in.
Okay.
So that was a big deal back then.
And this was what?
It was in the mid to late 1800s.
Okay, so we have a perspective on the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was in New York.
New York City.
Oysters.
He even started a mail order business with his oyster business.
So he was mailing oysters out to people.
Not only in the United States, internationally. Which that right there just blows my mind.
How were they getting there in the 1800s?
Bro, I'm sure there's more detail about it.
Carrier pigeon?
Dude, they didn't have internet. I mean,
horse and buggy?
How long did it take to fulfill an order?
I would imagine that by the time the oysters got there, they were spoiled.
Maybe he had some system to keep them fresh.
Back in the 1800s.
1800s, bro. But not only was he a successful businessman, he was also a social justice type person. So he actually sued the New York City trolley system.
What?
One day he was on a trolley and a person beat him up because he refused to get off the trolley. So he sued the NYC trolley system. His case was thrown out, but it led to other cases that eventually led to the integration of the New York City trolley system.
How does a black man sue anybody
in the 1800s?
In the 1800s.
He did it. And again, they threw his case out, but it led to another case that led to the integration of the New York City trolley system. This is before Rosa Parks.
So he basically did a boycott in the 1800s.
Right.
It's amazing. It's mind blowing because you think about the time blacks weren't allowed to do a whole lot. So even if they boycotted, what were they boycotting?
Right.
Because they couldn't do it anyway.
But he was a very influential person. Both whites and blacks frequented his restaurants. So when he died in the late 1800s, I believe, he was one of the wealthiest men in New York.
And what was his name again?
Thomas Downing.
Thomas Downing.
The
In New York
City Oyster King.
New York City Oyster King, millionaire, black,
Yes.
back in the 1800s.
1800s, bro.
You know what would be interesting? To find out where exactly that property existed and who owns it today.
That's always been a big question, because there's other stories like that we're going to share periodically of black people post-slavery, pre-civil rights, that were very successful business people. But their wealth it was either stolen from them or I don't know what happened.
Wow.
And that was tying into our conversation we were having about black legacy and
Right.
money and entrepreneurship and all of that.
Well, we're going to leave the phone lines open throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
571-426-9991, because that's such an interesting topic. Even though we're going to talk about something else as we go forward.
Right.
The hustle culture.
Yeah.
The hustle culture.
Now, me being 50-something.
Now I'm 50-something.
What's the hustle? What does it mean? What does the phrase hustle culture mean?
It might mean something different for everybody. When I hear it, the first thing I think about was do the hustle. Remember that old song?
I do.
Anyway, but we're going to talk about that, and we're going to just leave the phone lines open throughout the show. So whoever calls in, we're going to ask you some questions specifically about Thomas Downing,
right,
and some of the things around wealth and legacy wealth,
right,
especially for African Americans. But we're also going to talk about the hustle culture. So if at any point you want to call in 571-426-9991, feel free to do so. Just understand that you are going to be on the air. And if you're listening to this right now, it's probably recorded, so don't call in right now.
Don't call now.
Don't call now, because you will get a busy signal or you get sent right to voicemail.
Right.
But hustle culture. So I came across this article around the hustle culture about a week and a half ago. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Right. And the caption under the article was that basically our young generations, our millennials, centennials, are getting out of the hustle culture. So here's the hustle culture. The hustle culture, from my understanding, is defined as that period of time where it was all about making the money. It was all about stacking the package, right? Stacking the bills, getting the cream, dollar bill, yo. Family wasn't important.
Right.
How you got it wasn't necessarily as important.
Right.
It was all about stacking the chips.
Right.
So it became the hustle culture. Everyone had their own hustle. Folks talk about today their side hustles and so forth. That's another story for another day, because I don't necessarily agree with that side hustle. If you think of something as your side hustle, it's always going to be that.
Yeah, one of our guests even told us don't call it that.
Carol.
Yeah.
Right. Don't call it a side hustle. Carol
It's
from
a
the
business.
Date. It's a business. Carol Hampton from The Date.
The Date, catering.
I know y'all called her from the last episode.
Yeah.
Because I got a couple calls for dates.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, man.
That was a different kind of date.
So
Carol does catering.
Catering, yes. Catering. It's called The Date. And it was interesting. She said the reason she called it The Date was because every time someone called her and made an appointment, they had to set a date.
Right.
And so that was, a way for her, to make sure she was staying on track, because she's sharp as a tack.
Sharp as a tack.
She's sharp as a double S.
Staying on track.
Staying on track in the hustle culture. She's part of the hustle culture. But anyway, that's why she called it The Date. But yeah, I got a couple calls.
Did you?
Yeah, so actually that relates to what we first started talking about, the table, right? You see, we got some green stuff on the table, right? Some plants and stuff like that. So
I thought you said we had some green on the table.
See, you're part of the hustle culture, right? You say green, he thinking about money.
I'm thinking about that other green.
Oh, the icky wicky. What? Oh, don't know.
Those plants kind of
I don't know nothing about
look
that.
questionable.
Yeah, we may not want to smoke those. They're probably full of all kinds of phosphorus and plastic chemicals. and stuff.
But that is a part of the hustle culture, the cannabis business.
Is that part of the hustle culture? Because I would think once you got into that business, you slowed down.
See. Okay. I ain't got nothing to say.
No laughs on that one, huh?
No laughs on that one, bro. Because
Anyway.
you actually invested in
Oh yeah, I got some.
cannabis companies.
Yes. I'm just waiting for them to start lighting up. No pun intended.
See.
Right? So I tell you what.
Oh my God.
If y'all tune in and we have like repeat episodes for a couple of months, you know my cannabis stock hit
Oh Lord.
because I'm out.
I'll be here by myself
Out.
looking for another co-host.
But so I got a call, right? And we chat. I know the person, so it wasn't like someone that was blindly calling me, right? Because usually if I see a number I don't know, I ain't answering it anyway.
No, me
Could be a
either.
bill collector or something like that. Anyway, I just gave away one of my secrets. Okay,
They know now.
all of our hundred or tens of listeners.
They know now.
But she said, "Man, I dig what's going on. Your topics are great." We actually got a couple emails from folk that talked about our topics and wanting to come on and talk about their books. So we're gonna invest in that and
Right.
probably do some more educational shows where that comes. But anyway, she says, "I dig what you're doing." She said, "But I don't know if this is a guy show or a girl show."
Oh wow.
And
Really?
I'm like, what do you mean a guy show is a girl show? It's a show for everybody. Everybody. Right? She said, "Yeah, but the table looks so masculine."
Oh, that's why you got these plants up here?
Yeah. So
I was wondering.
she said we needed some green, some more stuff to kind of
And they all seem to be on my side of the table. What you trying to say, man?
that's because you just emit all this testosterone, man,
my
to soften you up a little bit.
Lord.
No, I had some. Actually, this one right here in the middle, this one need to be moved. That one don't
Is
belong.
that real?
It's real if you want to smoke it. No, I moved that one because we were rearranging a little bit earlier. But she said, yeah, you gotta soften it up a little bit so that women feel comfortable listening to you, and you're not just two old 50-something guys.
But this is man podcast.
Well, our AvoPod means what?
Man.
Right, it means man. It's the man in Greek. AvoPod is the word for man in Greek. So
Right.
it is the man book, but it's the man's perspective, not necessarily man only.
Oh,
It's not like the Little Rascals. Remember the Little Rascals?
I do.
With the He-Man Women Haters Club? Mm-hmm. We need shows like that.
I know.
We need shows like
We
that.
need
to
a
come back.
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
We need a He-Man
Be
Woman.
my lucky day.
I love the ladies too much.
They had like a cool clubhouse though.
They did. They really did have a cool clubhouse.
And growing up, we didn't have clubhouses.
No, we didn't.
We find like plywood and junk and scraps and
Old mattresses.
that had all kind of bodily fluids on
Oh
them.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. We pick up a mattress. If we saw a mattress on
We was getting it, bro.
that was becoming our new trampoline. That was becoming our like outdoor lounge furniture.
Oh my God.
Stuff had stains,
It didn't matter.
Oh, wow, man.
It didn't matter.
And then we lived.
And we didn't get sick,
We didn't get sick at all. Yeah, we didn't get sick at all.
But yeah, I want a clubhouse.
You want a clubhouse?
I do.
I think we can do that.
Can we build a clubhouse?
Well, I'm going to build my Zen garden.
I can't wait.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to build my Zen garden. And we're going to do a show from out there.
I can't wait.
It's going to have waterfalls. You're going
Incense.
to walk in. It's going to have incense going, legal incense going.
Well, I need to wear my, what is it? Kimono?
You need to wear your kimono and your Chinese slippers.
Oh my God.
And you need to talk like this. My teacher,
See,
you
I'm not
disgrace-
participating
student.
in racial stereotypes. Just let the record show.
Used to love those movies though.
I did.
Man, I didn't understand how they could walk in those wood sandals
And fight.
and fighting them.
They were good,
They
man.
were good, man. They were good.
They was good, bro.
But we started off talking about the hustle culture. See how we get distracted?
I know.
Man,
Went from hustle culture to racial stereotypes
to Zen Gardens, to Little Rascals,
to masculinity,
back to hustle culture.
back to hustle.
We always
culture.
come full circle.
It's all connected.
It is, man. It's one big circle of life.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is.
It's the circle of life.
But you posed the question, generational. Are they, how did you put it? Are they, you didn't say lazy.
What? No.
I'm going to stop short of saying lazy.
He said it, y'all. Not me.
That will be an insult
Not me.
because Gen Z and millennials are accomplishing a whole lot. So they're not lazy. So, but what was the question you posed?
Would you forget?
I forgot, man.
Did you have some of the icky wicky before you came over?
I'm 50-something, bro.
Oh, that's okay. All right. I keep forgetting. Every now and then, my mind tells me I'm younger than my body says I
I
am.
know.
Ain't that something?
It's messed up.
My question was, are we seeing the demise of the hustle culture? Now, is that a bad thing? Yes or no? That's kind of like part A. But because we're seeing the demise of the hustle culture, does that mean our young folk are less motivated than we are and were? And when I say we, I'm talking about baby boomers, going into millennials, so forth and so on. And when I say young folk, I'm talking about millennials, Gen Z.
Right.
Right.
And it's interesting because baby boomers, we were, when we considered the latchkey generation, were those baby boomers?
I know I was a latchkey kid.
So our parents worked simply to put food on the table.
And worked.
And they worked hard just so we could survive, basically.
Right. We could survive and pay rent.
Right.
And have little stuff. I remember when I was living in the projects in the Bronx growing up, we had this supermarket down the street from us called Pathmark.
It wasn't a bodega. Ain't that what they call it?
It became a bodega.
Man, when I was in New York, I was looking, where's the bodegas? I want to go to a bodega.
You got to go down into the hood, man. There's no bodegas up in the Ritzy section
Manhattan,
that
no
you were
bodegas.
hanging out in with Spreewell and all those NBA players.
Okay, I remember that.
No, it was called Pathmark. I don't even think it's around anymore. Pathmark was like the Kroger of my time.
So it was big.
It was a supermarket.
Okay.
But it wasn't the fancy supermarkets now. This had sawdust on the floor, wood chips and stuff right there.
Why was sawdust on the
Because
floor?
people were always dropping stuff and floors were getting wet and the sawdust would keep folk from slipping.
Oh.
Yeah, because we had a lot of slip and slide injury claims.
We didn't even have that in Texas. Bro.
No. You guys had barns.
We didn't have sawdust in our grocery stores.
No, you had horse manure. You had barns and hay.
Go in the dairy section. It was like
you had
a
to
cow.
You had to milk it
A
yourself.
real cow.
You had to milk it yourself.
Some dude back there making cheese.
It was fresh though.
It was real fresh.
It was really. If you think about cheese though, what is cheese? Cheese is molded
milk.
milk.
I don't know.
We were eating.
I love cheese, man.
We were eating spoiled stuff and still didn't get sick. We
didn't matter.
We were just tougher.
Expiration dates don't mean nothing.
Expiration days.
I don't even pay attention.
I don't either, man. We were drinking from hydrants and water hoses. The only thing I do, I give it the smell test.
That's why if it passed the smell test, it's good.
It's good. If it passed the smell test, there's nothing
It's
green.
going in, bro.
There's nothing fuzzy on it, or it doesn't have like, you know how sometimes the potatoes get those little little extra trees
growing on them.
Now those, depending on how big they are, you can cut around those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
or
still make some good French fries.
Or you get yourself a nice bowl, some dirt, and a couple of toothpicks, and start growing your own potatoes.
Bro, dude, come on now.
Talk about the hustle culture. We was hustling.
Dude,
Hustle is real.
it's real. But anyway, so
Yeah, let's get
our
back.
parents taught us work ethic.
They had to.
And they weren't doing it to get rich or anything like that. At least my parent wasn't. She worked hard to take care of me.
What does that say about us, though? If we're talking about the demise of the hustle culture.
Yeah.
And our parents taught us work ethic, and then our kids are, you know, lowering the bar when it comes to the hustle culture. Does that mean we didn't teach them well?
Well, according to our friend Kevin Walker, cultural strategist, he found out we would be talking about this, and he says that they're just doing it different.
Doing it different.
They're doing it differently. They're approaching it differently. That they're no less motivated than us. They're just taking a different approach. And that makes sense to me because, again, our parents had jobs. They worked to put food on the table.
We got jobs.
Yeah, but we weren't necessarily entrepreneurial in our thinking. We were taught, get a job.
That's a good point. Get a job, punch in and
Work
out.
there 20 years
Right.
and retire.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now, Gen Z millennials, I don't think they want to be in a company for 20 years working.
True.
So they're exploring other options, just like our buddy who was on a few months ago. He has, how many businesses did Justin have?
Oh, young Justin Powell?
Right.
Young Lion.
He had at least 3 businesses.
Wasn't that his name? Young Lion.
Young Lion.
Roar.
You know.
Yeah. We had a few calls about young Justin after that show.
Did you?
Yeah,
I bet.
he's got a couple of pictures posted online with exposing the upper half of his body.
See. Well, if you got it, flaunt it.
And he's young.
You know?
And he looks like Usher.
I know. Brother all in shape.
You make me wanna.
0% body fat.
Yes. So he's got like
You know what I'm saying?
15, 11 jobs.
Come on, bro.
He's Jamaican.
Right. So that is participation in the hustle culture.
So it sounds to me like it skipped a generation.
Now he's Gen Z.
He's Gen Z.
I think millennials were more closer to baby boomers.
Because they were directly taught by us.
Right.
Good or bad.
Right.
They were
Education was
yeah.
very important. Corporate, climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Stop high-siding.